So fun.
Yeah. Everybody.
I'm so short. I can't
See you
guys.
So
Hi guys. Hi. Before we start, maybe that little dorky takes
Yeah.
video going this way.
Instagram.
Everybody.
I'm really bad at technology.
I don't approve this message.
Very
selfie stick.
Hype train, activate! Yeah!
Thank you. Clearly, we don't need these.
But thank you very much for being here. I'm sure everybody's excited to have you guys here and to enjoy in our celebration of the fandom of Overwatch. So let's go ahead and go down the line. We have here with us Mr. Josh Petersdorf, who is the voice of Roadhog, everybody. And then, of course, we have the lovely and talented. I'm afraid I'm going to butcher your name. Okay.
Just to save you that.
Okay.
I'm Anjali Bhimani.
Anjali Bhimani. I was literally practicing that all day. I was looking it up on Google. I did do a couple of translators.
Feel your pain. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Similarly, I'll take this.
Okay.
Feodor Chin.
Feodor Chin.
They spelled their name wrong.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. But yeah, most folks call me Fia.
Yeah. So, thank you guys for coming out, and thank you for joining us here in this panel here in Ontario. And I mean, look at this crowd. Like I was not prepared for this. We had a pretty good showing the first panel we did earlier, but this is crazy. There are people still trying to get in. I could see from the hallway. I mean, what did you guys? I mean, especially you, Josh. I know you play Twitch.
I do.
Yeah, and is Roadhog your main?
Roadhog and Farah are my names. I'm trying to talk. I keep. They don't email me back, but I want the rocket back.
But I was looking at you guys and seeing that you've done some work, especially I think it was Anjali and I think it was Josh. Did you guys do soap opera work?
She has done some.
Soap opera work.
Very, very little soap opera work. Most of my work is in TV and theater, yeah.
But then it was a video, right?
I was on the both of these.
Yes.
I mean, look at him. He's bold and he's beautiful.
But I mean, going from that, I mean, you definitely you guys look them up and you see that they're acting credits, and then going over to being into thrown into this fandom. Like, what is that like in terms of the experience that's gone from?
I mean, it's awesome, is the short story. But what's really been special about it is that the gaming community, and particularly the Overwatch community, is so embracing. It's been so inclusive. It's been so positive. The creativity that the fandom and the creativity the community has brought forward is mind blowing. The fan art, the stories, the amount of support that comes from this community our way. It's not only mind blowing, it's really humbling. And I don't mean that in like a blowing sunshine up your butt. But I mean, it's true. I don't think in any of my experiences with anything, with Broadway, with television, film, anything, has it been something that is this inclusive and this positive, where anything negative that comes out kind of gets swallowed up by the positive whole. And that to me is kind of what the vision of the game is. Blizzard keeps talking about they want it to be a world worth fighting for, a hopeful world, where everybody sees themselves in the game, and the community surrounding it really depicts that right back to us.
I just want to say you're embracing this. Your avatar on Twitter, you have the visor, Symmetra's visor.
That was a gift! I have it over there on our table. I love that thing.
And I just love your support for the community. I just was watching this video of you just seeing this Reinhardt cosplayer, and you're just going up to him, trying to give him a hug. He's like a big dude.
He was a big dude, but I'm also a really little person, so that was a little awkward for him, I'm sure.
Yeah, so out of all that, Overwatch, because you do other shows like Modern Family and all that, but this takes the cake.
Like I said, I've never experienced a community like this.
I'll piggyback on that.
Yeah, exactly. Go for it.
Everyone's been so amazing, and and we all share this wonderful world together. And I think that one of the greatest successes of Overwatch is that Blizzard has kind of set the blueprints out, and then they let the fans kind of just play. It's a big sandbox, you know. We all are amazed and constantly blown away by the amazing support and love that all you guys have for us. And so that I always feel at home when I'm at this. I feel
Dan Feodor, how about you?
Oh, you know, I think what's so fantastic about the game is that the characters and the cast are so diverse, and I think that everyone can find a character that speaks to them and that they can relate to, and I think that's why you have a beautiful rainbow of people like this out here, and it's terrific. It's fantastic.
So I'm going to go off a question I was actually asked earlier. How much do you guys know about, as far as the lore? Because there's, especially you guys, 3 characters, there's still a lot to be explored, or at least you guys haven't had your own individual shorts yet. So I feel like there's a lot that's still, especially thinking about Roadhog, he's got a pretty tragic past.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people, even he's labeled as a psychopathic murderer on the Bible. Like Pachamares and him and Junkrat discuss, quantum theory. So. But I think that that's a great part about it is it keeps you guessing. And they haven't developed a lot of the backstory. And the cool part is it's still there. His character has created itself. And with all these amazing characters, I feel like they're constantly developing. And yeah, we haven't seen an animated short for some of us. I think the Omnic in the Widowmaker short gets murdered.
Right.
So that was not But I'm looking forward to what the future holds. Absolutely.
Right. And especially, for Symmetra, she's got such an interesting story too. You really don't know, how she, came into her powers, but then, you know that she was kind of you don't know if she was actually kidnapped or if she just went willingly into the corporation and just kind of completely devoted herself to learning how to use this, hard light. And then that's something that's kind of left up in the air, so you really don't know her story, what happened to her family, did she ever see her family, and then she just becomes fully entrenched and fully, dedicated to this, power, and then becomes this crazy architect, who's the reason why they have this new city. And but there is definitely something there that has yet to be explored, especially for fans that know the lore.
Absolutely, but this is also piggyback on what Josh said, is that what's so beautiful about it is that there is room for creation in your minds. And I suspect, I'm not an official Blizzard spokesperson, so I can't say for sure, but I suspect that that's part of why they are parsing out what they define. Because what you guys come back with creatively is so tremendous and so interesting, and there are so many ideas of what could happen. When people will ask, who do you ship with Samantha? I'm like, I don't want to tell you. This is your world. You're creating it. That's what's so exciting about this. When you have this blank canvas, or just little drops of paint on that blank canvas, then you can play with it. And that stimulates our creativity as human beings way more than if we told you everything, right?
Right.
That's why they don't tell us everything.
Same kind of question to Theo, especially your character has such a interesting story. Not just, his own story, but then he has an impact on Genji's story too.
Right. Apparently, he is my protege of sorts, right? But I think to me, what struck me when we started initially working on Zenyatta was that notion of wanting to be more human, and I think that's very relatable. And I was thinking about characters like Data from Star Trek or Mr. Spock, even just this desire to find his own humanity.
Yeah, so I think it's something fans really definitely want to see that. They want to see how, Genji and Zenyatta, he helped him through that difficult time. And, I want to see it on screen. Can we get an Overwatch film or a series?
Yeah.
Sign us up, start a petition. Go for it. All for it.
So, is there things that you know that we the fans don't know in terms of content?
Well, I mean, the new event that just happened, the Uprising event, I was actually the voice of one of the Devastator units. you hear the scream. That was me. Right. Usually when future events, they always will call the whole cast in ahead of time. So we knew a little bit ahead of time, but honestly, it's not like we do know a lot in advance. Unfortunately, they are very top secret over there.
And smart.
Yeah. And Jeff goes to Starbucks and gets his name misspelled.
They keep us relatively in the dark and probably wisely, precisely because of situations like this where people will ask questions from like, I honestly don't know. It's a little safer than if I did know or any of us knew. But occasionally we will come in to record stuff in advance of an event, but sometimes it will be so far in advance that like I forget that there's an event coming because I'm old and I forget things. But yeah, I think we are all pretty much learning about a lot about these characters as you guys are, and which is really exciting.
It is.
They like to surprise you, and I think they want to keep the surprises coming.
And go ahead.
Oh, I think when I did a session, I can't say when, but I made the mistake of tweeting about it, and so immediately take that down. So yeah, so if someone else is sitting here next year, they'll be surprised.
So I know that Overwatch it's a game, it's a multiplayer game, not a lot of, there's some dialogue. And your projects, other projects might have way more dialogue. So doing less dialogue for a game like Overwatch, but yet the fandom is great, like how does that feel?
I think it feels it's not as much like talky as like a Mass Effect game or like Witcher 3. But I think we have an amazing casting director, Andrea Toyes. Shout out Andrea, who is such a positive force in the booth. And anytime you're in there with her or any of her crew, Patrick Seitz or any of these, Michael Chu or anyone who's part of the Blizzard team, we are in the zone. They are there to help to be so positive. And so anytime we go in, I think all of us, there were multiple sessions in the beginning for each character. And I'll never forget the first one. The first line I did was, I'm a one-man apocalypse. I'm a one-man apocalypse.
Yes!
And we did it a bunch, and then from there I was like, okay, we're building. We're already working. And then it was just piece by piece by piece. And what's fun is when you come back to these characters, we know what they sound like. So,
Yes, now that's really fun. Yeah, and even though we're not necessarily having dialogue with each other, because Andrea and Michael and whomever are there helping us and letting us know what the situation is, you do feel like you are connecting with someone. It's not necessarily like you're speaking into a vacuum. So, so you're creating on the fly, and you're creating all sorts of options for them to work with, but at the same time, it's not like you're in this black box and there's no one there with you.
to know that the fans have taken so well to the work that we've done feels great. And we thank all of you for that. So thank you guys very much.
And I was just watching your Twitch stuff. I want to talk about this new game you're playing. Was it Player
Battleground?
Yes.
Yeah, Glitch World.
Yeah, can you tell us more about that?
PlayerUnknown Battleground, if you're familiar, it's like H1Z1, so it's kind of a battle royale, king of the kill, 100 people get dropped into a map, and it's one kill, and then you're done. It's been a really fun game to play with with friends, and I do like to stream, but I don't like only streaming Overwatch, because I like it to be special, and I did a show last week with the Lava Show, which I think some of you, the other castmates, Matt Mercer and Darren Paul were on, which is Robbie Draymond, Matt, Max Middleton, and Ray for Final Fantasy 15. So that was totally a fanboy moment for me. And so I love streaming Overwatch and PlayerUnknown Battleground. I'm digging that.
I'm digging your screening.
Optimus Slide.
Can you tell us a little bit
There's
about
a
that?
giant Optimus Prime wandering around. He is awesome, by the way. Shout out for Prime and Real Bots have haters.
Don't you also dress up as you
Without revealing too much of the old studio magic. I do have the blessed opportunity to play Optimus Prime Megatron at Universal Studios Hollywood. So come see us. There's no whispers. Optimus may start asking you about the Apollo.
I just imagine a little kid just go, excuse me, are you Roadhog? In your Megatron outfit. It's like, yes.
Seconds Decepticons.
I want my voice to do that. You imagine that voice came out of my body. I want that voice.
A lot of whiskey and cigarettes.
Oh, I want to see that. Just you guys doing each other's voices.
Oh, well, we tried
Test it out.
Right. We tried it. There's a reason we're all doing the parts that we're actually doing.
I can imagine.
I tried to do there and then, calm her down.
I can't come close. Everyone is so amazing on this cast that I think all of us speak that when we sit next to each other and we see each other at cons, it's like an old friend. Everyone's so cool, and I think the work that both Theo and Anjali and the whole cast have done is amazing. And I am just blessed to be thrown in that name with everyone and honored to be here with you guys too.
We'll pay you later.
I get paid.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I remember when I think I read for Hanzo Endgame.
That's interesting.
Like, well, no, you're too robotic.
But outside of Overwatch, prior to the pandemonium that this game has become, this fandom that's come along with it, were you guys ever like fans of video games before, or like anything like remotely nerdy? Like, what can you say? Like, see from the wow.
Super dance, superstar. We're like,
Oh, Casey Master Race. I was always a gamer. I grew up on Final Fantasy III, Chrono Trigger. You know what I'm saying? Old JRPG fans. That's what I grew up on. And I played World of Warcraft. I did. And then because of my wonderful opportunities at Blizzard, I was able to be in that game also. And the class hall leader of the Paladins, Maxwell Tyrosus, and the Demon Hunter J. So I've always been a gamer. Yeah. Did you play Nintendo or like?
abacus, because I'm that old. I actually, when I was really, really young, I was going to say really small, but I'm still really small. When I was really young, I played D&D, like straight up role playing. That game is so good for people. It teaches you so many things. It teaches you critical thinking. You have to do so much reading. I won the 4th grade spelling bee because no one else knew how to spell vengeance. It teaches you so much creativity. So I played that all the way through high school, and then that was kind of the end. And so then I started playing role-playing games. I played D&D on the PC and started playing like Baldur's Gate and Shadows of Mordor and all that business. And then I took it all off of my computer so that I could be functional and actually get things done in my day. And as the console games came around and the first-person shooters came around, I was like, I am not coordinated enough for this magic. So I just came back to it with this game, and now I'm like, what is this thing? My hands can't make this do things. I feel like I don't know what I'm doing with it, but I'm trying really hard.
To her credit, Symmetra just got to push that trigger on the gun.
And I still can't play her without walking off a cliff to my death.
My parents never got me an Atari.
Just let it out here. We're in a safe space.
Admit it, you were Harry Potter and you were stuck under the closet the whole time.
That's true. But I have an Xbox, and I played it a while, but I used to play a lot of Halo. Times. But yeah, I'm a bit of a button master myself, so I'll be perfectly honest with you, I have not gotten the chance to play Overwatch.
We'll fix
We're
that.
gonna fix that.
Yeah, I'm very difficult to master. But it sounds like strategy-wise, he kind of hangs back and just like, and I figure that's what I would actually do.
You are.
You guys go ahead. I'm gonna hang back here. Yell you from the far. Experience tranquility, though.
Just gotta keep passing that iris.
Nonchalant comment.
Yes, into the arms.
So I was doing some research into you guys while preparing for this panel, and I didn't realize somebody here was from OC.
Why, yes, she was.
Yeah, she is. From Foothills.
Foothill High, go
Foothill High. Is anybody from Foothill High? Right here. Santa Ana? Anybody Santa Ana? No. Okay.
That's really okay. Really quite okay.
That's close enough. But I was interested in that. Actually, both me and John were really interested in that. Both of your parents were doctors.
Indeed, they were.
And then it's, I don't know why that seemed shocking to us because for you to go into acting, it just seemed like such a leap. I don't know.
Well, there are two ways to answer that question, or several ways. But thing number one is my parents were also rather unconventional humans in that they met acting in medical school.
Oh.
I know. In their copious free time as medical students. My dad was the leading man in this intercollegiate drama troupe. And they were looking for a woman to play opposite him, and he kept vetoing everybody. And his director got mad. He said, "Okay, the next woman walks down those stairs, I pick her, and if she speaks our language, it'll good." And my mom, and she was like, "I think about doing your show," and no one had ever rebuffed him like that, and that was the beginning of the magic. So they had always had an appreciation for the arts, and I think stereotypically, but not necessarily in our generation, which is nice. Stereotypically, people of Indian descent generally have gone into careers like medicine or IT or whatever. And now, now with more generations moving over here, I think people are having the freedom to branch out. Also because we have so much more representation of different ethnicities in entertainment, in gaming, just this game alone. So there are definitely more opportunities. And Bollywood is like the biggest motion picture industry ever. So, how Valley Girls, and whatever, that was a coherent sentence, whatever, in ever, oh my god. So, it might sound unconventional, but I think it's definitely something that we're seeing more and more of. And my parents were just like, do whatever you want to do, just, be good at it and pay your own bills. So, and I'm, at least I'm paying my own bills, and thank you.
Yes.
You're in a little movie called La La Land. Another one you guys know of. I want to talk about the other La La Land. Do you remember that, or?
Yeah. I think that was a television short. Similarly named, and also did not win Best Picture.
How did it feel like just watching La La Land with Ryan Gosling just taking over? It's like, oh, that could have been me.
It's very upsetting. That was great. I could not but frankly, there's Moonlight and La La Land, fantastic films.
We are all SAG after, by the way, so stand united with us.
Yes.
Performance.
I think it's a good time to open up for fan questions. Oh, May's got a question.
It's gonna be May!
I was just wondering, what part of your character do you see, or what do you see in yourself in these characters that you play?
I'm always the person fixing pictures on the wall. I recognize myself doing that no less than 10 times in the last 2 days, just walking in somewhere and going, how could she have not fixed that picture? That's so bad.
I live like a pig.
I would like to be more calm. I think I'm not quite that. So actually, when I do go in for sessions, it is nice to be like an hour or so just to relaxed and just let that
Ethereal vibes.
the serenity take over. So yeah, I would strive to.
Right over there.
How are you guys approached by Blizzard when getting your roles?
I got the role through my agent. I'm with Solid Talent. My agent, Michaela Stefanovic, now Michaela Hicks, amazing woman, has always taken care of me. And I'd gotten with the agency about a year prior, and the audition went out. And I think the only thing I knew that gave it away is I was a gamer, and it said Blizzard in the title, and that was it. And it was a picture of the Butcher from Diablo 3, and it said, "This is not the final artwork. We don't want them to make pig sounds. Show us what you got." So I did it, and I didn't hear anything for like 8 or 9 months. It was a while, and then literally, because I didn't have a big rapport. My resume wasn't really I had improv performance and performance history and recording history, but it wasn't anything as big or noticeable big. So they took a leap of faith with me, and that's how I got it. It was a straight audition through the casting agency.
Yeah, same thing for me. Oh, this feels like it's louder now. Thank you. You guys, hello. Yeah, I got an agency through my agent at CESD, Kathy Lizio, and I was actually in London at the time, and I got the email for the audition, knowing that I was going to have to, just based on what my travel plans were, I was actually going to have to record it after a full night awake at about 7 o'clock in the morning before hopping on the next plane. And so I recorded it in my phone, and then I was like, there's no way that's gonna happen. I'm just gonna get on this plane and whatever. And then, a little while later, I got the call, and I thought, all right, well, maybe I should be dog-tired before more auditions. But yeah, it was pretty straightforward. It's not a really sexy story. It's just, we auditioned and we got the jobs.
Matt Mercer had to run a triathlon.
Right.
Same thing, he's in shape enough to do it.
I was in World of Warcraft, Mists of Pandaria, or Mud Mug, alrighty then. He was the one Southern guy in a world of Asian pandas. Bizarrely. So Andrea, the casting director, she was familiar with me, and but yeah, basically it was just a casting call. Like I said, I think I read for Hanzo and engaging. and yeah, that's when they decided I should.
It's really what's super cool about it too is that you sort of not knowing what we were about to be doing and then getting cast and being like, great, I got a job, and then you go in for that first session, you're like, oh, I got the job. It's a whole, and even then you didn't know that much because they were still developing. I knew a little more about it, obviously, when we went in for those sessions, but certainly had no idea that we were going to be experiencing this. Which was probably good, because then there's a lot less pressure. You go in, you do your job the best that you know you can, and you're not thinking about any of that other stuff.
Blue shirt in the back.
Yeah, it's my dude from earlier. He's got the Optimus Prime shirt too. I got excited. Thought about it.
Who's going to be the next hero in Overwatch?
Thankfully, they don't tell us. I wish we knew.
I don't know. We didn't even know about Orisa. I didn't even know.
Totally had no idea.
So I
Did not know what was happening.
McCree?
What are the pros and cons of voice character
Pros, meeting all of you and sharing in a wonderful day like today. Cons, not being able to do this every day.
Can we just leave it at that? Because that was kind of awesome. I honestly can't think of a con.
Yeah, there's nothing bad, other than cold tea, but that's it.
But that's like a first world problem. Yeah, honestly, I can't think of anything.
No, I mean, it's just pros, I think. In terms of, you really get the chance to play, because any actor will tell you, oh, I can play anything, but they don't let you play anything, But whereas when it's voiceover, and you don't have to, it's just your voice, you can truly, you can play a robot, you can play, I mean, it's insane, so.
Tell me, no crazy Overwatch fans, anything like that? Like a crazy fan story.
For Cocoa Puffs? No.
Crazy cool.
Like I said before, this community is so positive and so embracing and so respectful that anything, online is really the only place that I think people sometimes spit out things that they don't realize that they've just spit out to another human being, and it gets so swallowed up by the positivity of the whole community. It's just a wash, I can't think. I'm like, did someone say something bad? Did that happen ever? No. It's super fun.
So I just wanted to expanding on that, like what are some of like the coolest things you've seen people do? Like I'm sure you've seen some crazy cosplayers, but in terms of like, I mean, you guys
Just
probably
today,
get
we got those plush dolls.
Yes, May brought us some amazing
Fantastic.
plush
Oh yeah. No, that was
Beautiful plushies.
oh,
I'll tell you,
so beautiful.
There have been so many pieces of fan mail or messages coming in. And I'm going to just specifically name two of them. One of them was from a woman who, I just saw her post, that she babysat for a young Indian girl. And she was turning on her game and she was playing and she was explaining the game to her. And all of a sudden this little girl saw someone that was Indian. And like all of a sudden there was this, and she was obsessed with her and she wanted to know everything about her. And I was like, I am sending you stuff. It's all coming to you. Because when I was growing up, I had Wonder Woman, who is awesome, but she didn't necessarily look like me. I couldn't specifically identify with her. I aspired to be her. But I didn't have something that said, oh, that hero looks like me, so I can be a hero too. And to get messages like that is really special. And then with the recent confirmation that Symmetra is on the spectrum, I've been getting inundated with these beautiful, beautiful messages from people. I'm going to start crying like a freaking girl. I mean, these beautiful messages from people talking about, I can't believe that I am seeing someone like me in this world. Because, I've said this before, that it's not well known that it is a spectrum, that it's not all one way and all the other. And there are so many people in the world who are living with that situation that actually do have their own internal superpowers, but they need to be cultivated and they need to be told that they have something special inside them, even though they are struggling with certain aspects of normal life, quote unquote normal life. And so to get that back, through no necessarily, I didn't make it happen, but to hear that and to be a part of that has been so incredibly rewarding, and it means a lot to be a part of a game where people can see the hero in themselves from all walks of life. So, I'm not wearing waterproof.
Preach it, sister, preach it.
So going back to the fandom and the craze, like what do you think is? I mean, how many conventions have you guys done so far? Like in terms of like this.
It's fans first.
Thanks for having me.
We all share that. Me personally, I've done a few, and I got a bunch more coming up. A big one named, I think, the Game On Expo in Phoenix. We're going to be there. Hopefully, we may have some, I can't confirm, maybe some representation at the Anime Expo. Definitely, hopefully, going to be part of that. And a couple people have asked us if we will be at BlizzCon. I don't know personally, and I don't know if they know, but knowing Blizzard and knowing how much Overwatch, I wouldn't see why they wouldn't. So.
So I mean, what was like probably the largest crowd you guys have done in terms of like a convention?
I mean, that sounds lame, but like when you're there, it doesn't matter. They're the people who are in front of you, not the people that are, surrounding the thing. So I can't really say.
BlizzCon is pretty huge.
Yeah.
That was the biggest one.
And also, like, I don't know, probably you guys too. You guys have probably gotten into all those videos with you guys, just the voice actors interacting with each other in your voices.
The Lucio video.
Yeah, Catalina and I are great friends, so we started making silly videos because we're ridiculous, and then just meeting people and bringing people in, and then I have my series of videos that I've been doing, the I Am Fun Size videos, where I've been asking people to answer questions from their own experience to help other people understand, because you may be asking us questions about voice acting and whatever, but really we're just people, so we have been struggling with things our whole life too, and so if there's anything that we can help anyone else with, because we happen to have had that experience, it's totally rewarding. So I've been trying to bring each of the Overwatch folks and other friends of mine from TV and whatnot into that too.
Any more questions from the audience? Any more hands? Oh my God, there was way more than there were before. All right, let's see. Let's go Captain America.
What would be your advice on how to do a good voice for a character?
Oh, that's a great idea. You know, I studied recently Pat Fraley, who is the voice of Krang in Ninja Turtles, and he has a great method, and it's about building. It's kind of like when you build a cake, right? You need flour and sugar and everything in your base, and you mix that up with the egg, and then you cook that. Once you kind of figure out where you want to go, is this guy mean? Is he nice? Is he low? Is he high pitched? Does he have an accent? Does he scream a lot, or can I get away with talking like this? Is it 9 noon or is it 11:45? And also, believe in yourself. I always say that it sounds cliche, but it's true. Don't ever give up. There's a spot. You are the best you in the world. There's no one like you. So remember that. As often as pride, there's one thing I say. You may lose faith in the future, but never lose faith in yourself. There is more to you than meets the eye. That's all. Wait for Optimus Prime to bust through the door like
Imagine there in front.
So it might seem like a simple question, but I was wondering if you guys, like, as a collective, like, every single VA, like, if you all go to report, or, like, for example, because I know, like, Lucy Cole and Johnny Cruz both met when they were doing that video, right? Right. So I was wondering if you guys, like, all collectively get together, or if it's only, like, some of you at a time?
It's usually one of us at a time.
Yes.
And so part of the reason, like, those of us who have met is from our own volition. You know, Kato and I met for coffee one time, and that was that. Johnny and I met off another time. We all did get together that one day
I bothered Chris Parsons on Twitter.
at Blizzard, the campus, when Johnny made that video with all of us. But no, it's usually one at a time. Very rarely, I think, do any of us record around the same, like in the same session. Although Zhang, who plays May, she plays me, who plays May, since she was in town from Shanghai, she sat in on one of my sessions, which was super fun.
Aww.
She's really nice too.
Oh my gosh, she's so sweet.
She's really nice.
She's so sweet.
Yeah, so sweet. Good pictures.
So yeah, that was actually something else I was going to ask. It was like, we ever see like a road trip, maybe series of.
We tried to hook up a road trip today, but we couldn't get our schedules together.
Might work out.
Plus, none of us was camera ready.
Yeah, I didn't have any blush on.
Or like, what specifically, like you, Josh, and like say like Chris Parsons.
You know, what was funny is when we were at the campus that day, Parsons just kind of like showed up, and he was very drunk, like, he just kind of came in and he literally photobombed us with the statue picture, and then I didn't know he was there.
I didn't know he existed.
He's also the voice of Gladio in Final Fantasy 15. And he's an amazing dude too. But like when we were doing the session there's a lot of Junkrat and Roadhog banter. I was not there, but I remember them saying, "Your sidekick is this like he's like nuts. You're really fed up with his ish."
Yeah.
Let's go with the Deadpool shirt.
Josh, this one's for you. You've done voices like Optimus Prime and Roadhog. What's your favorite one to do?
I love doing them all. I couldn't pick one, and I'm blessed and I'm very fortunate that I get the opportunity to do Optimus and Roadhog and do stuff. I get the ability to do what I love for a living. So I'm grateful every day, bro. You know, real talk. Good question for sure. I couldn't pick.
I see your hand up over there, May, on the wall. Yeah.
Kind of like a two-part question. The first one's for Roadhog. You got a new voice line. She'll be right. What
She'll
does
be
that
right.
mean?
From what I've heard, it means it'll be okay. It's kind of like Aussie slang for she'll be right.
Okay, that's curious. And then second question. what character development would you like to see between your character and another character?
Me?
Everyone.
Oh, I want Roadhog to get the Farah jetpack. That's it. It wants the pigs fly. Heroes never die, pigs always fly.
I'm gonna have to plead the fifth on this one only because, like I said, I love how much creativity comes from everybody else. I don't even want to put something into someone else's head that says, oh, this is what she's thinking, so let's follow that. Like, I really love all of the ideas that are coming from people about the potential for each of these characters, particularly the ones who aren't specifically defined. So I'm gonna have to back off that one.
I think Zenyatta deserves a love interest.
Another optic.
Robots need love.
Talk to Optimus.
Oh, they're on the wall in the back corner with their hat.
So, easy one, but what kind of, like right now as of late for you guys, what kind of media have you been consuming? Like books you guys have been reading, what TV shows you've been getting into, albums, like, what are you doing right now?
Good question.
The book I'm reading right now is Good Omens, for anyone who knows that. Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett. And I just binged on 13 Reasons Why. And I've been watching The Handmaid's Tale, so I'm totally terrified about the future, which is why I have to play Overwatch, so not be terrified about the future. Because watching The Handmaid's Tale makes me terrified about the future. And then music, I'm just consuming Vintage Trouble, which is this awesome band. Yeah? You know Vintage Trouble? We should talk. I'm gonna give you some inside scoop, yo. So yeah, you all should check out this band, Vintage Trouble. The end. I explain why.
I'm currently watching No Shame. I'm watching Vanderpump Rules. Yeah. Below Deck Mediterranean.
Yes!
Just a Bravo junkie.
You like Real Housewives? You're watching Real Housewives.
My girlfriend loves watching Real Housewives.
Imagine being like Real Housewives.
Yeah. The real wife.
We do have the wife who's
We do have the wife
We
who's
do have the wife.
I think the last book I was reading was the Ron Perlman autobiography. Really cool, big fan of Ron. Yeah, watching that, and then I've been playing Persona 5. It's a very long game.
Any more questions? I saw some more hands. Right here, sir.
I never learned how to read.
When you guys played, or at least YouTube will play the game. Maybe you might know something too. But at the beginning of every match, sometimes some of the characters talk to each other. Between your three characters, do you know if they had anything talking between them?
That's a good question. I know the one that comes to the mind the most is the Reinhardt poster line. I love my hair on that poster. I think a lot of my Roadhog lines are just telling Junkrat to shut up.
I think the only interaction that I can recall at this moment, but again, that's not saying that it doesn't exist because it's all I can recall right now, is a little bit with Lucio, and something about the children. You know, they shouldn't let children in. Or I can't remember what it was. Something about like I'm not a child with Diva. What do I say? Oh my God, you guys! I have the memory of like an ant. So yeah, no, I don't think we have any interaction between.
That's one of the really fun parts. I think that's why it's so fun is when you hear those lines. They're really rare. Yeah. So you're like, and then all the time you're like, I didn't know he'd said that. There's still stuff I'll be playing.
I remember recording that. Where did that come from? That's my voice, so I must have done it. Woo.
Talked to Hanzo a couple times about trying to calm down, help Genji calm down.
Yes, I believe that is correct.
I can neither confirm nor deny the allegations.
You sir, over there in the right.
What do you see yourself doing in your future?
I've been working on a series called Cassandra French's Finishing School. And so we're hoping we'll have a second season, so working on that. We're trying to, get the word out about that. It's on full screen right now, that's a big one. And I have a play that I've been working on moving to Broadway for some time, so we are in the developmental process on that one.
If you enjoy sketch comedy and live in the Los Angeles area, I produce a monthly show at Upright Citizens Brigade Theater. It's called The Golden Hour, and it showcases Asian American talent. If you want to come out, our next show is Thursday, May 25th, 8 p.m. at UCB Franklin, or check the website.
It's a great venue.
Yeah.
For me, I just am doing a bunch of content crushing, really. I'm trying to put out a bunch of content in the next couple months. Some of you may have seen some of the stuff I did without Fox Gaming on YouTube and Overwatch Plays HD. I'm just having fun and, goofing around, being a dumb robot. No offense.
So we got enough time for probably 2 more questions, guys. So who's got a good question? Who thinks they got a good question? All right, orange shirt.
Oh! That's a question, because I heard that you two, the one with the hat and Roadhog, basically played World of Warcraft characters. So what if there was a collaboration, because there's also a game called Heroes of the Storm, where apparently it had Diva, what would happen if you met, like, your characters of Roadhog and the...
There's Mud.
Character, got to meet. What would they see with each other?
I play a paladin and a demon hunter, so I think the demon hunter would probably be more friends with Roadhog, probably. The paladin would be like, for the light, and Roadhog would be like, no.
I guess Zenyatta would probably say something like, pass into the iris. Mud would be all, I reckon so.
One more question, guys. Come on, one more question. Who really wants it? Okay, back right there in the glasses, pink shirt.
If Overwatch was gonna have a crossover with TF2, how do you think it would play out?
Overwatch had a crossover with Team Fortress 2, how would it play out?
Who would win?
We got many people on the team, and Team Fortress 2 has several classes. How many classes is it? 9? And we got 20, what do we have, 25 now?
7.
Yeah, eat that, TF2. That's a great game, though, and I had fun playing Team Fortress 2 and all Fire Spirits. It's a great game. That would be really cool crossover.
Well, sorry guys, that's all the time we have, unfortunately. But I definitely want to thank Josh.